Whenever you're ready.
In our speech today, we're going to cover 3 main points. The first is a problem that affects everyone's lives.
The second is a solution to the problem.
And finally, how the solution benefits you.
We're sure everyone here loves to have a good time, but today we're going to talk about something a bit more important than that.
Both Sheri and I have mothers who have lived with the nightmare that's epilepsy now for most of their lives.
I was and am still involved with athletics. I played football and now coach. I have seen the effects, the terrible side effects, and addictions that come from players taking and abusing pain and opioid medicine.
Can you imagine being told that the flu vaccine is illegal? Not based on actual research, but on outdated stereotypes and false claims. Medical marijuana is facing the same issues today.
Epilepsy is just one of the areas that are in need of serious help. Seizure prescriptions can leave patients in a somewhat zombified state, whereas CBD oil has the same treatments but without all the negative side effects.
The American Epilepsy Society wrote in their article, Epilepsy, Medical Marijuana, CBD, Myths and Facts, published on May 5th of 2018, that if pharmaceutical-grade CBD is FDA approved, it may be a helpful medication to aid in the treatment option for certain children and adults with challenging type of epilepsy, says Dr. Shlomo Shinar.
Josh Stanley held a TED Talk in 2013 in Boulder, Colorado, called The Surprising Story of Medical Marijuana and Pediatric Epilepsy. He talked about a 5-year-old girl named Charlotte who has seizures every 20 to 25 minutes and is on 7 different seizure medications. Josh Stanley and his team created a genetically enhanced type of marijuana drug which has little to no THC levels, which is the chemical that causes you to have the feeling of being high, and higher CBD levels to calm and ease the nerves in the body.
Not until the age of 5, Charlotte went to having 1 to 0 seizures a week, and was off of all her meds. People like Stanley are trying to make it where people like Charlotte can live without being in constant pain. But since legalization is in little states, it leaves millions of people without this type of medication.
Since the year 2000, Oxycontin, heroin, and other opioids have ravaged communities throughout the United States. Painkillers have claimed the lives of thousands of Americans and have led to opioid addiction and countless others. The opioid epidemic has affected people of all ages and backgrounds. Because of the physical nature of the sport, NFL players often take opioids like Oxycontin to deal with the pain.
Many athletes that acquire injuries during their time of playing need to use painkillers as medication, which later can lead to dependency in as little as a week. Abuse is 3 to 4 times higher in the NFL than in the general population. ESPN conducted a survey in June 2018 consisting of 644 former NFL players. 52% of them used painkillers during their time of playing. 71% of those players misused their painkiller medications, and 15% of them continued the opioid abuse during and after retirement.
Eugene Monroe is a former NFL offensive tackle. He was the 8th pick in the 2009 NFL draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has now become an advocate for medical marijuana research and policy reform in the NFL. In an article by the Rolling Stone magazine published August 25th, 2017, Monroe said, "I had some injuries that created some chronic issues, so the team doctor would address them with prescribing Vicodin or oxycodone to deal with the pain from injuries." He admits to taking upwards to 183 pills per week during his playing days. Since beginning using marijuana, he says that your body is extremely stiff, it's achy, and if consuming marijuana in the morning, it tends to take away some of the achiness.
After hearing our examples and listening to our sources, we're sure you're all wondering what the solution could be to this problem. The answer is simple. We need legislators and leaders in both local and national governments that are going to break the chains on restrictive research and development on medical marijuana.
Countless amounts of people, maybe even in your families, may be dealing with health issues that you don't even know about. We owe it to them to give them every available opportunity to live their lives the way it was supposed to be. The nationwide legalization of marijuana is critical for the advancement of pain management and medical issues facing society today.
In an article titled Cannabis versus Prescription Drugs, published on September 18th of 2018, the stat shows that Americans spend on average $1,100 per year on prescription drugs. A report by the IQVIA released in May 2017 shows that spending would increase up to 7% in the next 4 years. By 2021, total expenditure of these drugs could exceed $600 billion. Americans are going to spend a ridiculous amount of money on something that just treats the symptoms. According to the same article, cannabis is capable of actually easing the causes of the actual condition.
Imagine when you have children, or for those of you who already have kids. They are lying in a hospital bed, convulsing violently with foam leaking out of their mouths. And the picture of agony on their face. This is called a seizure, and they're not as rare as everyone thinks they are. You do not have to have epilepsy to contract a seizure. And you can either use a prescription to have the seizure stop, but it would cost you a fortune, and who wouldn't do whatever they can for their children?
Or you could give them medicine that, while it may not be able to cure it entirely, you can get your child back and get them living a high quality of life that you wanted for them. Many people on chemo tend to lose appetite. Medical marijuana offers a safe way of increasing appetite, calming nerves, and easing difficulties of chemo treatment.
This may be a difficult topic for some, but it needs to be treated with the utmost urgency. The only way to make a change, and is the exact system that our forefathers set up for us. Go out and vote.
Every time that you see that legalization for marijuana is on the ballot box, get up and vote. It doesn't matter if you don't have any of these issues that we've discussed. One day you very well could. If you see a candidate that's running and they're advocating for legalization of medical marijuana, get up and vote.
In the end, remember, the legalization of marijuana is critical for pain management and other health issues that are affecting society today. Only we can make a difference. Go out and vote and put our nation's welfare as a top priority.
Amen.